Today I want to explain to you how to create a 3 to 6 month emergency fund that could actually save your family's future and how to do it even if it seems absolutely impossible. I think that saving $1,000 is amazing and it's wonderful and it's a huge big deal to a lot of people. And I think that if you have $1,000 saved, oh my gosh, congratulations, because that is the first big step to gaining control over your finances. And I think it's a wonderful accomplishment. Now that you've done that, you need to pay off all your debt. And we won't go over that in this video, but if you are in debt, move on and start paying off that debt. But if you are out of debt, now we need to move on to the bigger emergency fund. And that's going to be a little harder and trickier, but it's definitely doable and you definitely can do it and you definitely should do it and you should want to do it because it will save your family's future. The goal here is to have 3 to 6 months of your expenses. What do you spend in a month? You need to take the time to write this down if you don't have a budget. If you have a budget, you'll know what you spend. So just look at your budget, figure it out. Do you spend $3,000 on expenses? And if you do, you're going to need at least $9,000 to $18,000. Yeah, that's a lot of money. That is a lot of money. But it's what needs done to have that security and to save yourself if something were to happen. To have that money will cover your lifestyle if something were to happen. If you lose your job tomorrow, you'll be okay. You'll be okay for a couple months until you get another job. And that's what that cushion is there for. It's there so you're not stressed and you're not struggling and you're not drowning and you don't need to start over because you have that money. You're secure. You're confident. And we all know stuff can happen in a heartbeat. People that have been at their companies for 25 and 35 years and they still get let go the next day. You just never know what could happen. If you have emergency medical bills that were just out of the blue, you weren't expecting it. Maybe a family member got in a car accident and you still need to cover the bills. You still probably have out-of-pocket expenses that could be thousands and thousands of dollars that you were not expecting. But you're good because you have that cushion. You have that security. That's what this emergency fund is for. Maybe you might need a new roof all of a sudden. Your house is leaking water. You're okay because you have that cushion. And once you use that money in your cushion, then you can just pay it back when you can. But you don't have to put it on your credit card. You don't have to pay the interest. Sometimes we put high amounts on our credit cards and we just can't keep up. Those interest rates are sometimes $100 a month. So you're paying a payment plus $100 in fees. You don't want that, do you? You don't. I know you don't. So we need to take the time to be grown-ups and put some money away and put it in our savings instead of spending it all on frivolous things that we just don't need right now. But you need an emergency fund. Having an emergency fund absolutely saves your family. If something were to happen, like we talked about, you're protecting your family. Your utilities are getting paid. Your car payments are getting paid. Your home, your rent, it's all getting paid. This gives you breathing room if you were to have a big illness in the family or a layoff. You're protected. It creates stability so emergencies don't turn into financial disasters. So when you finally sit down and figure out your numbers, what do you need to cover 3 to 6 months of expenses? It's going to look scary and it's going to look like a lot. And it may take some people months to save it, and it might take you years to save it. It took me many, many years to save mine. It's overwhelming, but once you start the process, it gets easier. But we know, and I know, life happens. And you're going to have other car repairs while you're saving this money. You're going to have kids stuff come up. You're going to have this come up and that come up. And you may have to tap into that emergency fund, but it's for an emergency and that's what it's for. But just keep putting money in there. Keep plugging away at this Consistency will win over perfection. Put what you can into it, and as long as you have money in there, so you're not drowning if something happens, that's the goal. Make your savings automatic if you can. Make an automatic transfer every week or every month. Or if you got a bonus at work, throw that in the fund. At tax time, if you get a tax refund, throw that in there too. It adds up really fast. Don't forget about the 5th week months. Those are my favorite. That's just, I mean, I worked hard for that money, but that is extra money in my budget for me. So when that 5th week comes around, put that extra money in there. Your emergency fund will grow faster than you think if you take the time when you come up with those extra funds for the month, throw them in there. Maybe even get a side hustle. I have a great video on how to donate plasma and make some extra money. It's not about how fast you can get there. It's about having a plan and sticking to it. But I guarantee once you accomplish this and you get to where you need to be, your heart is going to feel so amazing. You're going to have less stress. You're not going to have to worry. Because if something happens, you are good. You are good for several months. You don't have to stress about things. I've used that money. I didn't have to pay it on my credit card or figure out how I'm going to come up with the money. I had the money. I was okay. It was good. It was a great feeling to have that money. But then once I used it, I paid myself back. So always pay yourself back. Have a number and your goal. Always keep the money at that. And when you dip into it, pay yourself back. But you're paying yourself back at your own time and your own amount. So it's all good. Take the time to set up a separate account for this money. This money needs to be away from your regular everyday bills or your regular everyday savings. It needs to be in its own separate, by itself account. Let's do a quick rundown of this video. You're going to want to track your expenses for 1 to 2 months. That's how you're going to know your numbers if you don't have a budget. Then you're going to figure out what is your goal amount? What is your goal number that you're aiming for? Then we're going to set up automatic transfer payments to your emergency fund, if you can. If you're going month to month and you're like, I'm just going to figure this out as I go, then do that. Small but consistent amounts. If it's $10 one time, if it's $25, if it's $200, keep it going. Use your tax refund. Get a side hustle. Make sure you're using your 5th week month. Donate plasma. Do it all and throw it in there. And number 6, do not dip into this money. Do not touch this money. This money is for an emergency. If you have an emergency, of course, use it. Do not dip into this money. Do not take $10 out of this money. I know I'm being a little direct here, but you are not to touch this big emergency fund. Leave it alone, and it will be there to help you in an emergency. Remember, you don't have to do this perfectly. You just need to start. So let me know in the comments below, do you have an emergency fund? I hope you do. I would love to hear from you. And please take a minute to subscribe to my channel so you don't miss out on any more awesome videos. And I'll see you all next week.